Hello everyone, I'm Arjun and this is ACTV. Football fans from all over the world get excited. Something big's happening. It's the World Cup. 200 nations attempt to qualify, 32 spots in the World Cup, 1.2 billion people watching, but only one winner. So what is the World Cup? How did it become what we love and know today? Let's take a deep dive into history. Let's dive in more into the history of the FIFA World Cup. What is the World Cup? The FIFA World Cup is the biggest sporting event in the world. It takes place every 4 years in different countries all over the world. Nearly 200 countries fight for these elusive 32 slots at the tournament. And over the month of the World Cup, 1.2 billion people watch matches. Only 8 countries have ever won the World Cup: Uruguay, Italy, Germany, Brazil, England, Argentina, France, and Spain. Football became popular in Europe in the early 1900s when the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, or FIFA, was formed in France in 1904. At that time, the biggest footballing event in the world was the Olympics. When the Paris Olympics began in 1924, only European and North American teams had won the gold previously. This all changed when Uruguay, a small country in South America, shocked the world and won gold. It was able to retain its prize in Amsterdam 4 years later. The FIFA president, Jules Rimet, was motivated by Uruguay's win and decided to organize a tournament in Uruguay in 1930. This coincided with the celebration of the Uruguayan centennial. Frenchman Jules Rimet should be credited with the idea of the World Cup. Born to a noble family in Paris on New Year's Day 1873, he was a founding member of FIFA, but left after a job offer came from the French Football Federation. He returned to FIFA as its president in 1921. After Uruguay's amazing performances in 1924 and 1928, he and Dr. Paul Jude, a rich Uruguayan agriculturalist and football fan, teamed up to bring the plan to life. Rimet was FIFA president for 34 long years, eventually stepping down after the Switzerland World Cup in 1954. Because of his contribution to FIFA, he was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, and the World Cup trophy that was given from 1930 to 1970 was named the Jules Rimet Trophy in his honor. The first World Cup took place in Uruguay between 13th and 30th July 1930. 12 teams took part. 7 teams were from South America. Mexico and the USA made the long journey from North America, while France, Yugoslavia, Belgium, and Romania made an even longer journey from Europe. The African qualifiers, Japan and Siam, which is present-day Thailand, were forced to withdraw because of financial issues, and Egypt, the African qualifiers, missed their boat, forcing them to withdraw. The teams were divided into 4 groups of 3, with the winner of each group qualifying for the semi-finals. Uruguay, Argentina, Yugoslavia, and the United States qualified for the semis. The Argentines destroyed the USA 6-1 before Uruguay beat Yugoslavia by the same score to make the final. Uruguay then mastered a comeback in Montevideo against their neighbors. Argentina borders Uruguay, so many Argentine fans made the journey across the border to watch the World Cup final. And the fans weren't disappointed. Argentina raced into a 2-1 lead before Uruguay scored 3 unanswered goals in the second half to win 4-2 and become the first world champions. The following day was declared a national holiday in Uruguay. Let's look at some important moments in the history of the World Cup. Before television, many people relied on the radio to know what was going on all over the world. By 1950, the interest in the World Cup was sky high, and there were lots of interest surrounding the World Cup that year in Brazil. Unfortunately, many people were not able to make the long and expensive journey to South America from places such as Europe and Asia. So, FIFA decided to broadcast the World Cup on the wireless, and in multiple languages too. So many people all over the world listened to it. This not only increased the profits of FIFA, but truly made the World Cup a global event. By 1970, color TV had become more and more popular. Many people now own this invention. Seeing its popularity, FIFA decided to have all the matches broadcast in color for the Mexico World Cup in 1970. FIFA wanted to make the World Cup a modern and global event through color TV. Through color TV, they made fans feel like they were in the stadium watching the game. For the first 7 decades, the World Cup was hosted in Europe and South America. In 1970, Mexico hosted the first World Cup in Central America. And in 1994, the USA hosted the first World Cup in North America. In 1996, the 2002 World Cup bid was given to a joint Japan-South Korea bid. By now, Asian football was rising. Professional leagues were forming all over the continent and the teams were becoming more and more better. So this was the right time for FIFA to award rights to an Asian nation. As the co-host, South Korea created history, making the semi-finals and beating Spain and Italy along the way. This was the first time an Asian team had made the semis. Seeing the popularity of the World Cup in these areas, FIFA gave the 2010 World Cup rights to South Africa. And the 2022 World Cup will be held in the Arab world, in Qatar, for the first time. And that was the history of the World Cup. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful.